Councillor Rodley will have it in English. I call upon Councillor Rebel to say a few words as well, as it's our final meeting in terms of praying. So for those, we're going to have a Karakia. For those who wish, stand. For those who don't, remain seated.
E nā tohu o te rangi o te whenua. He arakataki I a mātou I nā taki e whiriwhiri ai I tēnei wā. I raro anō I te aro a ranganui ki runga, a papatuanuku e tā kato nei. Whakamoe ai ki a tīna, hui e tai ki e.
Call upon all of the celestial and earthly elements that surround us to lead and guide us in the deliberations before us at this time. We do this conscious of the attentive presence of Ranganui above us and Papatuanuku below us. To this we hold fast, united and bound together as one.
And God in heaven, the source of all good things, we thank you for bringing this group of people together to do good in this community. And we ask that the good that has been done will carry on for future generations. Amen.
I declare the meeting open and we're underway. Apologies. We have one permanent apology. Actually, we've got two apologies today. We've got board member Mackenzie and Deputy Chair Johnson have put in apologies for today. Somebody care to move that those apologies be received, please? Moved by Councillor Sinclair. Seconded, please. Councillor Rebel. All those in favour, please say aye. Those against, declared carried. A big welcome to the Public Forum people. The first speakers at Public Forum today will be Bruce Baker and Del Reid. So if you care to come up to the front, please. If you're unsure about the IT technology, I'm sure Councillor Rodley will put you correct. But basically, Mr. Baker will know. Make sure you got the red button on when you're speaking. That's all, and keep the microphone close to your thing. We have 3, 7. We have 10 people out there in ether who are listening to what you're saying. So please be aware of that. Speak clearly and concisely and speak directly into the microphone. Thank you. We'll give you a little.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We're speaking about the proposed memorial stone at the Ngati Bay Memorial Reserve. I'll ask Del Reid to speak first, and then I'll add a few comments after he has spoken.
Yes, good morning, everyone. So this really started with us as a bit of a timeline. On the 14th of March last year, 2024, we got 21 property owners in Ngati Bay received letters from council concerning an historic find. This related to a memorial stone which had been put in place in about 1920 by Mr. Miller, who was a solicitor at that time in Thames. And it occurred during some properties that he purchased in the Ngati Bay area. So backing up to 2023, late 2023, this memorial stone was discovered on a private property. And as a result, we received this letter from council stating that they wanted to discuss this with the 21 property owners who at that time were alleged to be on top of an historical urapa or cemetery. A meeting was duly set by council for the 25th of March. Unfortunately, the postal service, some of us didn't receive our letter till about 3 days before that meeting date. But in any event, 10 of the property owners were unable to attend on that meeting on the 25th because of either work commitments or they were absentee owners and living more than 100 kilometres away. So Martin and Robin were present at that meeting. Craig Solomon from Ngati Maru, Dean Allen, and a couple of other people. And there were probably 20 to 25 local people from the community. Some of our group invited Cherise Staples from Scott Simpson's office as a support person, and also with her wealth of knowledge in relation to iwi matters. So as the meeting progressed, some of us felt a bit like victims, especially after Dean Allen told us that endorsements may be placed on our LIM reports by council as our homes were on the site of this historical urapa. During a question and answer session towards the end of the meeting, members of the community made several requests, including we asked for the size of this memorial stone and a photo. We also asked for a copy of the inscription that appeared on the stone, and we asked for an English translation of that. Things moved on, and on the 16th of May, there was a second public meeting, and more questions were asked by us of Dean. Dean answered most of those questions, but not all. Again, we felt we were being told what was going to happen, and that our wishes didn't really matter. There was further correspondence to and from us and Dean Allen at council. Moving on to the 11th of November 2024, Dean agreed to meet Bruce and I here at the TCDC office. The OC Parks and Reserves, Derek Thompson, was also present at that meeting. And again, we presented.
Gentlemen, if you read the preamble before you came here, you note that you had 5 minutes. That's 5 minutes between the two. That's not 5 minutes each. So have you got a sort of a wind-up piece to this?
Yes, it's important that Bruce also speaks. So,
well, no, I'll make that decision. So do you have a wind-up piece at the end of what you're saying, or because we're aware of those meetings, for example, we were hoping you were going to tell us something that you wanted changed, or so is Bruce going to tell us that, is he?
I can go on to that.
Okay, thank you, Bruce. Now you're limited, so just make it quick, or let us know what you want, please. We've been a bit lenient as our last meeting, but we have a very full agenda of 2 items.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The memorial stones and public reserves are not uncommon, but we're concerned about its location on this particular reserve, and particularly when well, it's been defined as a public amenity, and it's to be located less than 7 metres from private property boundary. Now, if it's going to be eventually an urapa, which will need a resource consent under the proposed district plan in the recreation passive zone, that location is of concern to the residents of the area, particularly when there are other locations that we've pointed out to council staff about where the memorial stone could be located on the reserve. Just a couple of examples of memorial stones that that one there is the memorial stone located in Lockerbie. That was a place I visited a couple of months ago, and you'll all remember the Lockerbie air disaster. That's an area of land in a residential area. It's a stone that's been put there as a memorial to the 200 plus people that died in that air disaster, and it's essentially a small reserve in a residential area. It's quite private. It's well away from residential houses, and has numerous visitors from all places around the globe. Another example, much closer to home, is the one commemorating the Kaimai air disaster from the 1960s. Some of you may have been there, and once again, that's an example of a memorial stone that's not placed close to residential boundaries. It's located within easy access for anybody that wants to visit, and it's accessible to everyone. And that's really what we've come to ask council for, to think about the location for this memorial stone, and maybe go through a co-design process that includes all the stakeholders getting around the table to come up with a solution that everyone is satisfied is the best place for the stone to be located.
Thank you, Bruce. And now it's for the board to ask you questions if they have any questions. Is there any questions of the?
If I may. I appreciated that I didn't have to open my emails to check what all the dates were, because I was struggling to remember when they were. So thank you for reminding me. Because I did attend that meeting, and Councillor Rodley and Dean and Craig and I also spent time individually with people and going and visiting the homes of some of the residents who wanted to chat with us. But I'm getting feedback. Who's that? Okay. But my question was really about the orapa, as you call it, because my understanding from those discussions were that obviously an appropriate place for the memorial stone needed to be found, and that any future discoveries would then be able to be interred with that. And so is that still correct? So that would sort of, I guess, make it an orapa, but it's not that we're talking about opening it up for general burial. This is just to reinter artifacts and human remains that have been found within the original area, should they be discovered. Am I correct?
Yeah, that encapsulates the two issues. One is the location of the memorial stone, and the other one is the transformation of that into a urapa. And at that stage, the urapa will need, as I read the district plan, a resource consent. And we've talked with council staff about a fence or a barrier around that memorial stone. I believe, and it's my opinion, that any barrier isn't needed until an urapa is established, and that would make reserve maintenance much easier too. You wouldn't have to skirt around a fence that is obstructing the people looking after the reserve.
Any further questions? There being none, thank you very much. Appreciate you coming in.
Thank you very much for your time. We appreciate that too. And if there's any report back from any other people on this issue, would you be so kind as to include us in that feedback?
Yes, I'm not too sure whether it's going to be at our level or at council level, but your comments are noted and we've taken them down, and we'll have a discussion, a very small discussion later about it. Okay, but thank you, gentlemen. Yes.
Sorry, if I can just say one last thing, please, Mr. Chairman. We can make available some relevant correspondence to you this morning, and we can leave it at the office. But how many copies would you like?
I've just been informed one copy, thank you, and it'll be emailed to everybody.
Okay,
And that's an obligation now. We're in election timing. So anything that comes to one person goes to everybody.
thank you.
So we also, we have other council staff here listening as well as out there. So a lot of people have taken note of what you've said today. All right. But thank you both for coming in. Much appreciated on an unpleasant day. Oh, don't tell me it's funny up in Narumu. Mr. Anderson, so you would have picked up from that, you get 5 minutes. So we have, just one moment, please. We're going to kind of clear the screen, and we've got some photographs that you sent us, so every board member is aware of what we're talking about. All right, so just bear with us for a minute. Your clock hasn't started, so you're fine. Or what? Just wait till, because you probably need to talk to the photograph so everybody's kind, right? Sorry. Oh, were they? Did you all look at them?
Yes.
No, in that case. Oh, go ahead, Mr. Anderson.
Morning, everybody. I think I'm really talking about something that's been around for a long, long time. It's been kicked around a lot. Anything that involves money, I guess, is quite a awkward subject. So I own the properties being number 320 and number 318, which is comprised of the Totra dairy and a house behind the dairy, plus a container bike shop, which they have vacated at the moment, but we're in talks with someone else who wants to go in there that are doing pet grooming. And I don't own next door, which is 316, which comprises the Early Birds bait shop and the Oliver's Bakery. So between us all, going by the receipts on the till, the sales till, we have roughly about 330 vehicle movements through there a day, which is about 9,900 a month. And what our problem is that the area in front of the shops, which is not owned by us, it's I guess it's Road Reserve Council owned, has not been maintained by anybody. We feel that because it's not our land, we wouldn't want to put money into tar sealing it. There is a tar sealed surface beneath, which many years ago, I guess, when things move around with the roads, people, transit, all these things, then they start chopping off responsibility or wanting to do anything about these small areas, which is heavily potholed. In the past, people have just dumped more and more loose metal on top, and it just gets churned into a huge mess every time it rains. Jen, going by the photos there, we run around at night where, you've got all these rules about health and safety, the road traffic people that you've got to, we just can't afford to do anything with it. And we get someone in to smooth it out, and it costs us roughly $300 a go. Last time we did it, it only lasted a week, and now the potholes are all back again. It's just a huge problem for us in the shops there, and it's not, it doesn't help. Customers are always complaining about it, and we feel it's not helping our businesses. And that's pretty much our lot there. What I've got to talk about.
Thank you, Vaughan. So that's the photograph in front there showing the potholes full of water. So your boundary,
Yes, so the boundary
hard up against that.
Yes, so all the buildings there, that is a straight line. That's the boundary to public and private space, the road, the building frontages.
So when you look at your title,
yes,
what does the title say the land in front of you is? Does it indicate what it is?
No, it doesn't. We presumed it was highway.
Beg your pardon?
We presumed it was the highway, state highway. reserve.
Right. Have you ever spoken to NZTA about it?
Well, yes, I've written to them, and like everything, you get a call centre, which doesn't really get you anywhere. And then they when they do push it up the chain, it's just a very brief summary back from the call centre in writing saying, last time I talked to them, they said that was owned by TCDC. And previous to me talking to them, I did talk to TCDC, and they said no, it's owned by Transit.
So that's categorical. That's what they said. It's
Yes, I have that.
That's a long time ago, Transit. But
well, I'm not sure what they're called, but the highway people.
Right. Councillor Rodley.
Good morning. So is it this is one of those patsy questions. Am I correct in my understanding that council is saying it's Wakakotahi, it's saying it's council?
Yes, but so my latest email back from TCDC says it's theirs.
Said
it's belongs to TCDC. So yeah, so I went to TCDC first. They said no. Then I went to Transit. They said no, not ours. And then I went back to in writing, and then I went back to TCDC, and they said yes, it is ours.
So this is obviously follow-up question, if I may. This is obviously part of your frustration that you'd actually quite like to know who it is that you could talk to.
And it is a huge, well, for us, it's a huge amount of money. We did a couple of quotes, and it's open-ended at 50,000.
Yep. And I may ask one more question. Right on the edge, sort of, I guess in that photo there, up towards one of those little red small, just about there. Those potholes seem to actually be creeping onto the edge of the road.
It erodes into the road. I rang council saying, oh, there's a dangerous pothole in front of that. That's in front of the driveway to the house, trying to stir up something. And so they came out and shoved some tar in there, and but it does erode. You've got the white line, and it has eroded into the road surface, but they just shoved some more
Thank you.
Councillor Revel.
Yeah, I just have a couple of questions. I want to hear your frustration. I know it has been going on a long time, and from my knowledge, at least 4 years. Just a couple of questions. The first one is, would you be willing to make the correspondence that you've had with NZTA available to us? I think we might be interested to see what is.
I might have sent that through with my last talks with TCDC, but I can pull it out again.
It would need to come through council staff to us. My second question is perhaps a little less related to the potholes, but Kyle has moved. He's closed his business down, or he's moved somewhere else.
They had some business was slow, and so they decided to move on.
Right. Bother. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm a bit dim-witted sometimes with these things. So let's go through this again.
Yep.
First of all, you were told by.
So I inquired with TCDC through the call centre.
That it was transit in those days.
Oh no, this is in the last few months.
Oh, okay. So NZTA, right? So that Thames Community District Council said it was transit.
Yes. So
NZTA.
Yes. So I called them and sent an email, and they replied saying no, it's definitely in writing. We don't own this. This is a TCDC piece of land.
Right. So have you since further pursued that, saying it's?
Yep. So I went back to TCDC, and so with correspondence there, confirming that was their space.
And their comments were?
I'd have to check again, but I think so. I called back into the call centre after seeing that.
Right.
And then the call centre said it's best that I maybe come here.
Okay, that's a good idea. So as Councillor Rebel said, that correspondence would be important to us, so we
Okay.
can follow it up internally,
I'll get
despite
that.
who does own it. We can't promise you anything, but from looking at photographs yesterday, it looked to me to be road reserve because it's a continuation from all those houses right down past your place.
Okay.
And I was involved in getting that slip lane put in there years ago, so safe turning left up there and the thing. So we had to widen the road out to the other side towards Urapa. It's widened out and it's got supports out there. So it seems strange that it's not road reserve because they took the slip lane out of that area.
Okay.
So without saying it is, I'd like to see, or we would like to see the information that you have, please.
Yep.
All
Okay,
right.
I can bring that.
So the best place, have you got it on email?
Yes.
All right. Have you got Mr. Anderson's email address?
You can send it straight to me.
Yep. Can you please send it to our governance advisor, please?
Okay.
And you've got his email? Oh, there you are. And if it's going to Jenna, it'll be looked at.
Okay.
She's the boss. All right. Thank you very much. You got anything else?
No, that's all. That's all. Thank you
Excellent.
very much.
All
Okay.
right. Let's hope we can resolve this for you.
Right.
All right.
Thanks a
You
lot.
take care.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. Can't you hear me? Ah, you haven't got the hearing aids in. Okay. Who'd second it, please? Second by Board Member Rakwa. All those in favour, please say aye. Those against? Declared it carried. Items not on the agenda, I have to point out to you 1.4, items not on the agenda and in that little slot, there's no items to be added to the agenda today. However, 4.2 has been removed from the agenda. Tauru, that's a Dixon Holiday Park, 115 Victoria Street, Tauru, has been withdrawn from the agenda and will reappear at a later date. All right. Anybody got any conflict of interest? Right. Minutes for confirmation, which is 1.6,
I'm happy to move.
moved by Councillor Rebel. Do we have a seconder, please? Seconded by Councillor Sinclair. I'll find it. Confirms that the July 23rd, 2025 minutes are a true and correct record of the proceedings. We have a mover and a seconder. I propose to put the motion. All those in favour, please say aye. Those against, declared carried. The only thing you could have spoken about whether there's matters of correctness in there or spelling mistakes or something. Obviously not, because we have such good secretaries. Thank you, helping me. Okay, 2.1, which is the sublease request, Thames Rugby and Sports Club Incorporated, 445 Ngati Maru Highway, Thames, otherwise commonly known as Rhodes Park. Thank you, Nicole. As a report writer, you wish to say any opening remarks?
Yes, firstly, good morning, Chair, board members.
Sorry.
This report asks the board to recommend that council grant a new sublease between the rugby club and the rugby union. And this is following the fitness co-op giving notice and vacating the premises. I'd just like to advise the board that this is a legal and property related transaction. It has nothing to do with the operations of the park. And yes, I'm happy to take questions.
So is any questions to report writer at this stage? Does everybody know which building it is? Councillor Rodley?
Hi, sorry, I'm just desperately flicking through here trying to find the right page. I apologise. Page 10, there it is.
Oh, have you withdrawn your question?
Yes, I am actually.
Okay. Any other questions with regard to this? Please note what the report writer said, that it's actually, unless it's a specific reason why we can't do it, that basically it's a normal fait accompli type situation that we move it and second it and vote on it. Okay, so do I have a mover,
No, I
please?
just have one question.
So
So
one
this,
question?
what's this lease worth? So the rugby and sports club pay us, is that the 350?
Correct.
Okay, so am I allowed to ask what they're subleasing for?
That has nothing to do with us, actually. It's an agreement purely between them and their subtenant. So
Yeah, I just remind everybody that this is just a lease. We're not discussing the dollar value of the lease. No concern of ours. As something to think about when the next LTP is being done, as to where $350 plus GST is a sufficient amount of money for these properties. Councillor Revel.
I'd like to move the motion.
Thank you. Second by Board Member Rakwa. As there be no further questions or comment, I propose to put the motion. All those in favour, please say aye. Those against? Declared carried.
thank you very much, and I hope you have a great last meeting.
All right, thank you for the report. Thank you. What did you just say then? Last bit?
Last
Oh,
meeting of
thank
the
you.
term.
I suppose you walk out the door and breathe a sigh of relief. Martin,
May I please be noted as an abstention on that vote, please?
right. Abstaining. Right, item 2.2 on the agenda. This is the allocation of Thames Community Board 2025-26 discretionary budget. So the report writer is sitting next to me. Rosalind, do you wish to make some comment, please?
Morena, members. This is item 2.2, and this year, the 2025-26, the Community Board has $110,257 to allocate. The board has previously indicated it would like to stick to its focus areas that it identified in 2024. And this report presents initiatives and activities for consideration, which are in attachment B. I'm just going to share my screen now, and we can, are there any questions before we have a look at those initiatives?
Well, are you going to start discussing the actual amount to be?
Yeah, I'll share my screen.
Eh?
I'll share and put it up in front of
So
you.
what do you want to put up?
Just the attachment B. So the first initiative is a first aid course for sport and recreation coaches, and this targets clubs that provide activities for children and young people. This course was held in March 2025, and 10 people completed the course. It was held at the Jack McLean Centre. Are there any questions about that?
No, just you go through it and we'll come back.
Okay. The next one, 1, 2, 3, so that's B, C, and D, are all related to events that are coming up. So the steampunk event is in November, the Santa Parade is in December, and Wings and Wheels is planned for January. In regard to the Wings and Wheels event, Thames Business Association has identified some costs that are associated with that event, and they are listed there in attachment B. And the last one for consideration is an initiative from Thames Museum, where the museum would like to engage a fundraiser to support them with raising funds to purchase some items such as their building extension that they're planning, a heat pump, an air conditioning unit, and they'd also like to put some solar panels on the roof. So that summarises the initiatives we're considering today, and the cost of those is for $34,153, leaving a balance in the discretionary budget of $76,104.
Thank you, Rosling. I propose to do this in a lot of different sessions. So the first one, the Thames Community Board received the allocation of Thames Community Board funds 2025-26 discretionary budget report dated the 1st of August 2025. Can I have a mover for that, please? Moved by Councillor Sinclair. Do we have a seconder? Moved by Board Member Rakwa. All in favour, please say aye. Declared. All those against? Declared carried. Right. So to make this easy, we'll go through these numbers individually. Right. So we'll move each one individually, not as a block. Otherwise, I can see, but please note on the bottom of my page 16 that noting that these can be changed, amended by the new community board via a future report following the October 2025 local election. I think that's coming up, isn't it? Right. Gotcha. Yes, Martin.
So a couple of things I just want to check. So the first is that, sorry, right at the bottom of page 16, the noting these can be changed, amended. Is that a common thing to have in a resolution just before an election? I mean, surely any decision that a council makes, someone could raise a notice of motion for a subsequent meeting to thingy it. So I'm just wondering why we specifically have that in there at the moment. We don't seem to have it for other council stuff.
There may be some comment made by the board chair that I don't think we should have been allocating money in 2026. So this is probably to soften the blow for me. So, but of course, you know, you can amend them, and then it begs the question: why are we discussing them, except for the steampunk and for the other ones? And I think I voiced my opinion quite strongly about coming into a board where a lot of things are predetermined for us for the first 6 months. So, you know, it makes life a little bit awkward for incoming board. They've got no discretion. So in this case, we can change them. So I guess maybe we look upon it as some sort of guidance for the incoming board. All right, would you accept that?
Yes, and so when you're saying we're going to move and second each one, and then presumably some discussion about each one.
Yep.
Right, thank you.
You happy with that? Okay. Councillor Sinclair?
Well, I would be much happier if the wording of resolution 2 was recommends to the future board that they keep these rather than approves that that's what it is, because that feels like
Well,
that's
I don't even like them. I don't even like the motion.
Oh, well, if you want to take it out, I'll support that.
No,
too.
you move it.
We should have talked before the meeting.
No, not really. This is what we're very democratic and we talk publicly. But the thing about this, approves its community board areas of focus for investment. This kind of, instead of advising the community board, it's telling the incoming community board what it is.
That's why I'd feel much
So
happier
what
if
would
it
you-
was recommends to the Thames Community, recommends to
Right at the front, instead of
incoming-
approves, recommends.
recommends to the incoming 2025 Thames Community Board that the areas of focus for investment are as follows. And then the new community board can look at that, can look at the work we've done and say, yes, we approve, or no, we don't. But then rather than having to go through a process where they have to change and amend, they're actually the decision makers because that's what they will be elected to do.
So in a minute, that'll be up on the screen. Yeah. Right.
But you won't need the noting. These can be changed and amended by the new community board for future report. You can just, yeah.
So with that amended, 2, do you care to move that?
Yes, I'll move that.
Moved by councillor Sinclair. Do we have a seconder? Board member Rakwa, propose to put the motion. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Those against, declared carried. I think that's a much simpler version. Right, so that now brings us into the nitty gritty of it. So 3, approve 1,600 from the Thames Community Board. I think you can read that there. Arrange a first aid course for sport recreation coaches. Do we have any comment around the table? Yes.
I had a question.
Questions,
Was
certainly.
this us going back to them and saying, hey, was that useful? Do you want another one? Or is that them coming to us and saying that was useful? We want another one?
So that was at the end of the course. They asked if we could run another one
Okay.
so that more of their members could attend.
In previous, when we've discussed things that might benefit our youth, we've had other ideas as well. And I particularly thought that maybe governance training for younger people would be a great idea. And so just really, yeah, never mind.
Yeah. So this is probably more tactile, but those, I totally agree with you about the governance training. I think that's a whole item that needs to be discussed by the incoming board. I seriously do.
No, absolutely.
TRAP is leading the way.
Yep. And there are
And
conversations in the
I fully
community.
endorse that. Great idea, but
But
here, I think that if we can get for $1,600, get a first aid course for
Yeah.
people out there playing sport, getting injured, or people looking after the pool or whatever, then I think it's a very cheap course.
the thing that sort of front of mind in this as well is that we have also previously funded the Thames Community Centre to run driver licensing programs for
Correct.
our younger people. And they have, when I went to their AGM last month, they indicated that they would be very interested in applying for more funding to allow those programs to continue, but they haven't come and asked us. And I'm just worried about who we're funding and who we're not funding. That's all.
So through the chair, we have followed up on that and have been in contact with Jeff Whitfield and had that discussion. So that is likely to be on the next list of options for consideration next year.
Board member Rakwa.
Thank you, Chair. Just want to follow up this about the grant. If we both think what's important and what is we have to make decisions today, we can do it. And if they're not important, we'll leave it for the upcoming boards.
Are you talking about just 2?
All of them.
No, we're talking about just 2 at the moment.
Okay. Yeah. If the board think that's important, we can make decisions today. Otherwise, we'll leave it for the upcoming boards.
So through the chair, I've been advised that we may not
3.
have an opportunity to report at the end of this year. It may not be till February, which would mean the Steampunk Festival has already been and gone, as has the Santa Parade and the Wings and Wheels, and hence their reason they are on this report.
So we felt in setting the agenda up that these things were important for Thames. And if we didn't pay for their traffic management plans, that they probably wouldn't have a steampunk, or probably wouldn't have a Santa Parade, may not even have a Wings and Wheels. So those things are quite important. Yeah. Board Member Rodley?
Have we got we've got a seconder for, and a mover and a seconder for option
3.
resolution 3? I think we have, haven't we? Because we're talking about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did we?
I'd like to move.
You okay. You move.
I'd
I
like
got
to move
I got
3.
confused with Board Member Rakwa asked. I thought he was asking about 3 and he wasn't.
Oh,
Okay. So you're moving?
Yes,
Yep.
please.
And do we have a seconder, please? Seconded by Board Member Rakwa. No further comment. All in favour, please say aye. Those against, declared carried.
Could I abstain, please?
Abstain?
I also did not make a noise. I'd like to abstain. Thank you.
Whoa, eh?
I'd like to abstain. Thank you.
I just working out whether had a quorum and you all
Still agree.
abstain.
Yeah. No, it's still passed.
Still have a quorum.
And the quorum is intact.
Just whether if there's 3 abstain,
No, just 2.
it'd be very difficult.
Jenna's counting.
Jenna's counting, good. Four, approve the money for steampunk. Any comments regarding 4?
Happy to move.
Happy to move. Moved by Councillor Sinclair, seconded by Board Member Rakwa. Any questions regarding this matter? Board Councillor Rodley.
I noticed, and once again, I didn't write it down, that down towards the bottom there is a comment made that particular groups have checked with police that about the traffic management plan. Oh, here we go. Bottom of page 24. Traffic management costs have been double checked by the groups to ensure the plans meet NZ police requirements. Have we got that in writing from the police about that they are happy with the traffic management plan, and that they will, and what normally is the role of police in approving a traffic management plan?
So our contractor confirmed to us that the police are happy with those traffic management plans.
Right.
So we can't do any more than that. That's as much
But
as we
have
can
we
do.
got that? How did that confirmation come through?
But our contractor is is involved with traffic management plans all the time. So
Yep, I understand that.
the Peninsula, they checked on this and came back and said that all is in order.
Okay. The reason I ask is that the last minute, the one for Anzac was changed at the request of the police to include additional barriers. And I'm still worried, despite this assurance, that closer to the time, we will get from the police an additional requirement, which will blow this cost out, like it could double it or treble it. That's what I'm concerned about. I've raised this a number of times, and I get that they've got that thing there saying the police are fine with it, but I feel that to provide comfort, maybe just for me, I'd like to actually see something from the police saying, as it stands, this event can go ahead with this existing traffic management plan. Otherwise, I think we'll potential to get bitten. And the same for the Santa one.
My comment around that would be we would be approving what we understand to be a traffic management plan that does comply with the police, that we would be allocating that amount of funding. If the police made a change, it's the problem for the organisation, not the problem for us. We've done we've made the decision we need to make based on the information that's been presented to us. And I think asking to get a report from the police saying that they approve it, etc., is, I guess I'm probably saying, I think the risk to us as a community board by approving this as it stands is there is no risk to us if the police do change their mind.
technically, it wasn't us that applied for a traffic management plan. We're just approving the cost of the traffic management plan. So it doesn't impinge upon us in any way. And I think the last time that was, dare I say this, a bit of a knee-jerk reaction to Louisiana, was it, in the southern states of thing? It was about 2 days before when somebody had driven through some barriers. I mean, I kind of come to the conclusion if these people are determined to drive through barriers and the crowds, they'll find some way of doing it, unfortunately. So I hear what you're saying, Councillor Rodley. I certainly do. And that was quite an overkill for Anzac, especially at that hour of the morning. Right. So we have a mover and a seconder. Propose to put the motion. All those in favour, please say aye. Those against, they're carried. Item 5, and that's the PBA one. So please just look down through there. Items A, B, C. Any questions of the report writer on those? Councillor Rodley?
So I appreciate that we've done 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 separately. Is 5 just going to be taken as a block?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
That, yeah.
in which
So
case,
$18,764 broken down to those amounts.
there are some aspects in there that I can support and other aspects which I'm struggling with. And I think a recent report had said there was a significant amount of money left from the previous Wings and Wheels event, but we don't have any of that information here. So this leaves me with an uncomfortable feeling about what we're funding and what they might already have.
Well, just make it easy for us up here. Are you happy with A and B?
Out of everyone, or
You.
yes, I can live with A and B.
Yeah. Councillor Sinclair?
I can make it easier. Because I'm happy to move it, and I'm happy with items A, and I'm happy with item B. And item C, I would only like to see us hire, contribute the Portaloo hire, because I feel like that's a sort of essential service. But I don't really know that we should be in the business of funding a freestyle motocross show.
So basically Portaloo hire?
Yep. Portaloo hire.
2,174 and delete the other 3. Do we have any further? Yes.
Well said.
Okay.
We can throw in a photographer if that makes it easier as well. I don't.
Uh,
Oh no, we'll just leave it at the Portaloo hire. Yep. Cool.
Councillor Rebel?
So I'd be happy to move a motion which is around A and B. I think the other items outlined in C are items that kind of I would just expect those. No, let me step back. I'm happy around A and B because I think traffic management charges are an absolute anathema, and I rail against the fact that we have community groups that are constantly being taxed with excessive traffic management plans. That's that, and so. But with regards to item C, I see those as part of just the fabric of the event itself, and that the organisers would be anticipating those costs, and would be reflected potentially in the ticket price, etc.
So we have an interesting situation. So you actually moved that, including the Portaloos. So do we have a seconder? You'll second that now. You're seconding A, B, C, which includes Portaloo hire, but not the photographer, the motocross W thing.
So it includes Portaloo hire and what?
Oh, not including the other ones.
No.
So
So as I moved it, we'll approve a different budget from the Thames Community Board. Item A, which is traffic management for the Santa Parade. Item B, traffic management for Wings and Wheels, and only $2,174 for Portaloo hire in item C.
just aggregating those figures and we'll tell you how much that goes up in the top line.
Yes.
What is it?
A number smaller than 18,000.
While that's coming up, could I request your rationale?
I have a big black hole in terms of Wings and Wheels and what, as I've never been, doesn't feel like my kind of thing.
Yep.
But I don't want to
it's 10
tar it with the
what
brush
should
of me
be.
not being interested in it in terms of I've seen the queues of traffic going in and out, and so it's clearly popular to a large number of people who are not me. And it feels like if I was out there sort of justifying what council's role in these events is, I think providing safe sanitation is definitely a council service that I could absolutely justify if I was tackled in the street or in the supermarket about it. And say, yep, we care for our environment, we care about the health of the people, and there aren't adequate toilets at that place to be able to provide for the number of people that are going there. And so this is a contribution that we can make towards that. However, had you moved it, I would have agreed with you not to fund it. So
Just before we get too carried away with this long discussion, we might see if we can have a seconder. And then you can have your big discussion, all right? Did you second it? Okay. On that basis, including the Portaloos? Okay. All right. Sorry. So the thing is, there it is now in front of you. Total amount, $10,470. So I'm going to propose to amend that figure at the top. And the motion will now read, approve $10,470 from the Thames Community Board discretionary fund budget to the Thames Business Association as follows. That is for traffic management, Santa Parade, traffic management for Wings and Wheels and Portaloos. Higher. Okay. Any further comment? I propose to put the motion. Repun? Propose to put the motion. All those in favour, please say aye. Those against? And please don't tell me people are abstaining. Right. Thank you. So leave one more. Number 6 at the bottom. Approved $9,200 for Thames Community Board for Thames Museum Society to engage a fundraiser for a 12-month period. So do we have a comment? Do we have someone who cares to move that? All sitting very quiet. Okay, I'll move it. Do we have a seconder before we open discussion on it?
I'll second that.
Thank you. So the reason why I move this, I feel this is one simple way of saying to a museum, here is an allocation, one-off allocation of 9,200. You go out, you get somebody to start raising funds for you, and we will take it off our list of people that we give funds to. So I think it's important that these groups, these organisations, such as the Thames Squash Club, for example, engage these sort of people, get the money to come in instead of coming cap in hand to us using ratepayers' money. So this is a one-off situation. We would not renew it because in actual fact, it comes down quite a lot from 9,200. There's a setup fee there. So we would not be renewing it and we'd say, there you are. Thank you very much. We've given you $9,200. You go out, you raise the money that you need for your new building or part of a new building. And I think this is a nice clean cut way. They're out there, they have to do it themselves, they have to be proactive and they have to engage somebody and monitor what's happening. Councillor Rodley, did you want to comment?
I'm quite torn about this. I can and heard Deputy Chair Johnson's comment about it a meeting or two ago about how they're using the fundraiser for a club he's involved with and how they've never had less than a certain amount of money. I would love to think that a fundraiser could find the entire funds for the whole building project. However, with it potentially being 6 figures, I don't know that I'm that confident that that will happen. And I'm also a little bit concerned about the, if in a year or two's time, they have the opportunity to put a new display up or something and need some money, I'm worried about the comment that they can't then come back to us, because I don't think there's anything in our grant policy saying if you apply, then that's it for you for a while. Each thing will be treated on balance, and I'd hate the idea, well, we gave you 9,000 a couple of years ago, because this seems to me it's that fundraiser for specifically, or it doesn't say it, specifically to do their building work. So I'm a bit concerned that there's kind of the feeling that they'll then be shut out of subsequent opportunities.
The second, do you wish to comment? Board Member Rakwa?
Thank you, Chair. I'm not sure about this one because there does need a money to do some jobs, but we're not sure if the 9,200 make positive impact, or they will get fundraiser for what they're looking for. So yeah, I'm not sure. So on this case, I will be keep myself absentee.
Comment? Or the mover has the right to reply? Okay. In reply to Councillor Rodley's comments that I don't ever think the $9,200 is ever intended to cover the entire amount of money. It is very difficult to raise money out there at the moment. The museum is in a bind in terms of unable to display some of its items, and some areas are getting rain in there. It's got a very damp thing. They don't have access from one building to another. So what they wish to do is go out and approach this person and see whatever amount of money they can raise on a rolling thing. One would expect to take the sum out for the next term, next year, out of what they've raised, and so that would keep it going forward. In terms of displays, I think they may raise a lot of money or may not raise a lot of money, but in terms of displays, I think we judge everything as an individual thing. So if they came to us and said, we have a display for a specific thing in Thames, then I think this board would then look at that display. Whilst this doesn't say for building, it is for raising money for the Thames Museum, and I really support the Thames Museum on the basis that it's run entirely by volunteers, open 6 days a week, and nobody collects and nobody takes a salary down there. I think that this is an opportunity to put them on a strong footing that they can go out and get some money in without having to come cap in hand to the community board or council every year. And this would allow them, if it failed, if it didn't work, then I stand corrected. But I think it will work. And I think the minimum amount is that the squash club has ever got is $25,000. So this is a little bit of doing something for yourself, being proactive, looking after your own situation. And I think it's important that we give them that opportunity and say, well, here you are, here's $9,200. You go out, you engage this person, and you raise the money and be a little bit proactive about it. And I think it's so important we give these people a little bit of leadership and respect to that and say, yep, we support what you're doing. And here it is. It's not a particularly big sum of money. When you look at the traffic management plan is around $4,500 just for steampunk. It's not, but this will and also bring people into Thames, but bring people into Thames almost all year round. I'm fully supportive of steampunk too, I might add. So anyway, if that was the final thing, so I propose to put, sorry.
May I ask a question of Rose? So has the museum committee has come back to you or the chair and said, yes, we're completely behind this idea? Because I was at their recent AGM and there did seem to be some differences of opinion. They may well have sorted that out at their first proper meeting, but
So the museum is committed to this.
okay. Thank you.
And there, ooh, what's Carolyn's role? What's Carolyn's role? She what? Chairperson. She's fully supportive of it. She keeps asking when it's going to happen. So so they are very keen to see it happen. I'll be most surprised if she's not listening to this third meeting. Okay. So I propose to put the motion, and the motion is as item 6, approved 9,200 for Thames Community Board for the Thames Museum Society to engage a fundraiser for a 12-month period. So all those in favour, please say aye. Aye. All those against? You're against. I declare it carried, and thank you for that, because I think this is a step forward to trying to make these people independent, and any other group that comes to us independent, and because it's not easy to raise money out there now, I can assure you. Right. Thank you, team. That was well done. Thank you, report writer. Oh, sure.
I was lucky enough to be able to go along, and I got given a T-shirt.
Oh,
We helped set up the sound and the stage there, and then we were also allowed to stay for some of the event. The speakers were inspirational, extremely humble, and the engagement from the attendees was next level. I had sort of thought, well, people might switch off and get a bit bored or whatever, but it was amazing. And obviously there was also attendees there from Pairara and Ngati, so, and also around the district. So it wasn't just the Thames High School, it wasn't just the Thames event. And a number of people were asking about how they could set up their own TRAP organisation. And there was a presenter and a camera person from Maru television there. I haven't watched the interviews that they did, but he was talking to me afterwards, and he said that he's done all sorts of events around the country and has never seen anything quite like what he saw there. So I'm extremely happy that we supported that, and it was just a wonderful, uplifting day.
thank you, Councillor Rodley. Unfortunately, I got caught up with 130 seedlings to plant for a shelter belt that day. I was really gutted. But I did speak to Roanne afterwards, and honestly, of all the things in this triennium that this board has been involved with, TRAP gives me the greatest warmth, the greatest feeling of satisfaction. I'm just amazed at what that TRAP has done with that first group and the second group coming through. And to that end, I've invited them to our briefing meeting. So they'll be like in the public forum type thing. And I just want us to all catch up with them, meet up with them, and wish them well going forward, because I think this you're talking about governance and talking about teaching young people. This is the nucleus. This is the starting point for that. And I think if we can improve on that, and as Councillor Rodney said, that other people were looking at how they can do it, I see a lot of benefit coming out of that. A lot of future politicians may be coming out of it. I really, really, really think it was an amazing decision for this board to take on TRAP. Right. Oh, Jenna's just telling me we've got to hurry up. No, she's not. No, she's not. She's just telling me one of the staff members' daughters are involved. All right. And she absolutely loved it. Yeah. So look over my shoulder and I see the team. .1, sorry. Oh, right. Oh, really? Right. Welcome, both of you. I'm just catching up on names. I mean, well, Luke's new. I think you've been here for 3 years there. I just catch up on names. Welcome, both of you, to our last meeting. And we look forward to going through the CAPEX program with you, Luke. I think I went through it last night. I went through it again this morning and I thought, wow, that's tricky when they start retaining budgets and things like that. So let's start off with the Kopu Marine, which I might add, we're very impressed with Lisa Church when she came forward and made that presentation to us at the. You're dying to jump.
I'm just wondering
which means that the Kopu Marine Business Precinct is now actually moving forward, but I see there's still some work to be done. So Councillor Rebel would like to make a comment.
No, I'm just wondering whether the report writers would like to make any initial comments before we start working our way through the schedule.
Oh, no, that'll be right.
Thank you. So through the chair, just a couple of things to highlight for you that will probably be of interest. The Kopu Public Convenience works are scheduled for 2 weeks, in 2 weeks to begin. So we're not too far away from getting construction underway there. Yes, making sure that Leslie is introduced today and is with me relating to the Totra Valley Road upgrade because it is it's not just about building a road and water infrastructure, there is a wider picture in that. So should you have questions, Leslie's here today to support in that area. And I'll hand back to the chair.
No, keep going. Keep going. Otherwise Councillor Rebel was going to raise the matter again. I'll give me a chance to talk.
I'm available for any questions. Thank you.
Okay, go. We'll just go down. Oh, Totra Valley. We'll come back on the Totra Valley Road and make it a separate issue. We understand that there was some talk about the clarifier, and there is a diagram. If you want to see what the clarifier fits in, you do want to see where the clarifier fits in. All right, I was going to put up on the screen it. It's enthralling. So, but anyway, it looks like they can do some work on it and make it better.
Yes, through the chair, it is about essentially extending the life of the existing clarifier through to the next LTP, where we can put a business case forward or a request forward to fund a replacement, which is quite more expensive than initially anticipated.
I think people don't kind of realise just how they go and turn their taps on and just don't realise that what council/community boards do in the way of providing clean, fresh water. It's just amazing. It's not until the water's not there that they start to hear the comments. But I've got to say that the water standard is extremely high, and whether that clarified working overtime or not, I don't know, but it's good. It's very good. Martin, Councillor Rodley.
So is it correct that when the Thames water treatment plant was put in, that it has capacity for 20-something thousand houses, but the equipment that's in it is what's limiting its future expansion? Because we've been told a bit over the last 3 or 4 years that there's only enough capacity for a couple of hundred extra houses. But is it correct that my understanding is that more machinery could put there, but the size of the actual ponds and all that kind of stuff is sufficient for thousands and thousands of additional houses. And I realise it's an unfair question, but I'm asking it anyway.
Okay, so through the chair, it is a question for a waters engineer, which I am not, but I can take that question away and make sure we get an answer through to you.
Do you
Your pardon?
want that as an action?
I would think there's probably water and wastewater are two items that Thames needs to look at. But how you go about it, I don't know. That treatment plant, that treatment plant up there is very small in capacity, and I can remember when Toyota and the Thames Abattoir complained long and loudly when the floods came and the water was cut off for a day and a half, 2 days, that we needed 3 days of water storage. Is that the one?
Yeah, no, sorry, I'm more thinking of treatment of the water before it's discharged.
Comes out?
At the far end of the system.
Right.
Sorry, I didn't make that clear.
Well, I'm just trying some of it now. It's quite good. Board Member Rakwa.
Thank you, Chair. I'm just going to ask if there's any possibility to have a site visit to see the drinking water treatment plant sometime, because that's the kind of that's kind of interesting for me, because we've been to the grey water treatment plant. We had a site visit. Was pretty interesting to learn how that system works, and I think we didn't get a chance to see the drinking water one. Please.
So through the chair, we obviously don't have a project related directly to the water treatment plant in that sense, other than the clarifier. What I can do is I can go talk to the water services manager and see what they can do to accommodate that request.
Yeah. Yeah. So specifically, what are you asking? Oh, so that's a visit, a site visit. Oh, that's a site visit. Yeah, we're good on site visits. Yeah, we can arrange. Oh, those who are sitting around this table in 25, 26 can arrange for that and have a site visit. Sure.
And through the chair, I think you have an incoming opportunity for the new council. That might be one of those items that could be added.
Right. One interest I noticed down there. I'm on page 27 now. If everybody else is, we've heard about the Kopu public convenience, the Waikowhai Bay public convenience. Both of those are underway.
I see the toilets already in place at Waikowhai Bay. So we're running ahead of schedule.
Waikowhai Bay is under construction, so yes, it's very quick to put the pre-built toilet in place.
Yeah, they're there.
And and so it's about connecting it up and doing all the other pieces of the puzzle. Yeah, but it is almost complete.
One quick question I'm asking on behalf of the Deputy Chair. Thames 24-hour, 7-day dump station. It says planning's underway. Can we be more specific as to where it's going to be placed, please?
Through the chair, that's the planning. So the problem was we have one that needs to be renewed. The asset at where it stands at the moment is not on council land. And so we're looking at what are the appropriate options that we've got to when we renew into a new location. And so that's the question mark at this point, and that's the investigation work that's underway.
So that's the planning for a new place, not planning for construction.
No.
Right. So the Deputy Chair moved it where the stormwater pump is from the Noki stream at Richmond Street. he wanted, that sits right there above the wastewater line, rising main, and he would like to see it put there and did a design work for that. Are you aware of that?
I'm aware that a number of options have been
Oh.
discussed in the past, and there's a number of factors that need to be considered to ensure that it's a feasible location from a connection point of view, but it also makes sense from the user's perspective as well, as well as is it safe to put it at a particular location in regards to turning circles, other traffic. There's a lot of different things that we want to consider to make sure we get it right and that it's a sustainable long-term location for that service.
And it just occurred to me while you're talking, where they raised those buildings down at Danby Field, of course they had toilets there, and they would come back through into that car park, into that Queen Street car park, and that would even be an easier place to do it, and the existing lines there. End of it. Right. And Port Park. Oh, sorry, Councillor Rodley.
So you started talking about Pirate Park. I was just going to ask a question about that.
Oh yeah, sure, go.
So that was a partially Waka Kotahi funded and partially us, I think.
My understanding is it was partially funded, not necessarily NZTA. We needed their permission to do work as it's adjacent to the state highway.
Right.
And the latest update on that I've just received through is we've just got a pause on construction at the moment. We're working through a couple of issues, and so that'll commence once we resolve those.
Yeah, but that's still potentially late August.
It won't be late August because we are late August
yes.
at the moment. So hopefully in
quite late
4
August
weeks' time. Yeah.
No, okay, thank you.
I could save you $100,000 by shifting the band room down to. Well, this is the most ludicrous thing. It's going to achieve nothing. So, no, just putting a little parking space in between the power poles. Are you going to take the power poles out and underground the power? No. No. Thames Parks and Reserves renewals? No. At some stage, we've got to face the elephant in the room with Ngati. Do you want to have a quick briefing comment from Jeanette about the comments today? Because that's contingent on that being settled. So do you want to listen to Jeanette just give us a brief comment on Ngati at this point? Would you?
Is it appropriate?
Beg your pardon?
Is it appropriate? I mean, sorry, I'm not saying you're suggesting something inappropriate.
I'm looking at the Ngati domain playground renewal. The scope of this project is contingent upon the decision to the relocation of the memorial stone, right? Contingent means it's subject to. So that Jeanette is sitting here, has a good understanding of it, and if we are to find out that the stone has to go, stone has to go in a set place, then so be it. Then we can decide what we're going to do.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I've just had a message from Dean to say that it's no longer contingent. I'm not sure what that exactly means. Do you know anything further?
Hey.
Oh, he's on screen.
Oh,
Here he is.
welcome, Dean, to our last board meeting.
Yeah, thank you, board. Yeah, I can answer that question. So this budget was set aside when we were during early discussions at Ngati. It was set aside just in case we needed to move all of the play equipment at Ngati. So it was set aside by the parks team. But the two options that we've been looking at, which is the Pururi Tree location and the Willow Tree location, they no longer, they don't require the moving of the parks assets. And so, and the parks assets are a swing set, a double swing set. So that's why this budget is it's no longer connected to the memorial stone. But I do note that the commentary isn't quite right there. So I hope that explains it.
Right. So we will amend that going forward. So it's not contingent upon decision regarding the stones.
And just through the chair, it actually will drop off as a project because there's no requirement to move the play set. So it's no longer a project. So you won't see that in this report going forward.
Ooh. Okay, Thames Cemetery renewals. I suppose I should declare an interest in that, conflict of interest. I've got a plot up there. Okay. Go. That's it. Do we ever get any idea what they're going to do? I mean, it is a delegated authority of this board. Do they ever tell us we're putting in new benches, or they ever tell us that we're putting in new ash burns, or when do we get the information?
So
Or we
this,
just find out by driving up there and seeing it being done?
so previous reports have had detail in it. This is the report for 1 July in a new financial year. And so they're in the planning stage of what they're going to do with the renewals at the moment. And so you should see an updated one at the next meeting, which will have a list of what the planned activities are for the remainder of the year.
Oh, that's good. Right, sub-regional aquatic facility. That's in the red. So we'll skip that one. Unless somebody wants to make a comment. No. Then for War Memorial Civic Centre renewals, same applies there. I guess we'll find out. The incoming board will find out what they will be. Thames Library Furniture, same. Thames Footpath Rehabilitation.
May I ask a question about that, Mr. Chair?
Yeah, sure.
Just
Councillor
wondering
Sinclair.
if there was any update on the Thames footpath rehabilitation. I noticed that there's been a sprouting of road cones around some of the trees that we talked about last time. And is there any update?
Luke's pointing at me. So you'll recall that Len Whitaker came into a briefing earlier this month and he shared that he's been working with Chris Rutherford on the plan for the footpaths in areas where the pavers have raised. And I assume that's what you're referring to, Robin? So that what they have agreed that because of the roots of the trees, they're going to need to extend the footprint around the tree by about 300 to 400 mils. And that will enable the trees to thrive a little bit more than they are at the moment. The concern was if they just reinstated the pavers, that we would have the same situation reoccurring in a short period of time. So they actually want to I guess, undertake the project in a way that we won't have the same situation reoccurring. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be interesting. Council versus trees, because I think the trees will win. And in real terms, I looked at those ones the other day down by the Imperial Hotel. It would be so much easier to put framed fences around them to keep people away from a nice ornamental wrought iron or type of fence around them. They're never going to beat those trees for their root. We'll keep pushing up, particularly paving like that, or keep pushing that up forever. But to remove them, I think it would be really a retrograde step. I would be strongly opposed to that. I wouldn't go so far as I'd chain myself to the trees, but I certainly be totally opposed to removal of those trees. We've got so few trees in town now, but they just need to ring fence them, just keep people away from them because they're quite serious trip hazards down by the Imperial Hotel and also down here outside Jay's things. So, and that's something I think the incoming board needs to look at too, is street maintenance and around those things, and particularly around the ANZ Bank, the amount of weeds and growth around there, and those bricks are extremely slippery. So that needs to be looked at for the incoming board. Right. Is there any further questions of Luke, who has?
Yeah, I've just got, Luke, one of the things that seems to be coming up quite a lot is around access or accessibility. There is the issue of, mobility scooters getting on and off footpaths and what have you. But the one that seems to be getting quite a bit of attention is getting across safely to the hospital, in particular, from the places where people would typically park and so on, but no pedestrian crossings and so on. Now, I know it's been talked about before. Has there been any internal discussion around crossings to give safe access to the hospital?
I assume there has been. It's a roading manager activity to do the planning to get to a point where there's a project happening. What I can do is I'll go have a chat with the roading manager and query that on your behalf and get a response back through to you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Actually, that's a very relevant point Councillor Rebel has brought up, because it's a constant one on our fortnightly thing down in a committee board table down at the market, that people always talk about no access across to there. The simple answer, I'm not a roading engineer, will be two very small roundabouts, one in Queen and Mary Street, and the other, not Queen and Mary Street, got one there now, and Pollen and Mary Street and Mackie Street and Mary Street, two small roundabouts, slow the traffic down and reduce the speed limit to 30k in this area. That would be one of the answers. And of course, putting a pedestrian crossing there just by that hump there makes it awkward. People come up over the hump and probably don't pay too much attention. You want to take out some car parks, but certainly by slowing the traffic down through that area would make a big difference. And Councillor Rodley will agree with me.
That's a perfect segue. Can I just be a little bit cheeky? And I know this is not something that you mentioned about speeds.
Oh yeah, sorry.
So we have had information from Kotahi about how they're doing speed reviews in a number of locations around the peninsula, including Kuranui Bay. Are we as a board or comms planning on doing any additional comms to let people know?
It's just speed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's the closing date on that, please?
October the 3rd.
And I understand that you put your hand up. I saw it on the WhatsApp.
Yes.
Speed.
Yeah, but I just wondered if there was any. I mean, I'll be doing stuff.
Do you want to liaise with Rosalind?
Happy to do that. That's probably unfair to throw it in the middle of the meeting. My apologies.
No, that's all right. No. It's a very important thing. Advocating on behalf of your community. Right. Thank you, Luke. Thank you for the final and last time. Well, I suppose the same final and last. I've been very impressed throughout the time that you've been here that you've been honest with us, forthright, and put up with us foibles.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
You'll go out through the door and bless yourself.
I move that the report be accepted.
Still got Leslie's, thank you. I've offered this seat to you 2 or 3 occasions, but no. I've got a very good governance officer alongside me, advisor, telling me when we move motions and when we don't. Leslie, welcome to the Thames Community Board. It's full of chairs, so be careful.
Thank you and good morning. I'm actually just sitting here for the next report, but we're kind of going to walk hand in hand with this Totra Valley infrastructure project. So I'm really here just to update you as I've been asked to do in the following table, the attachment B on page 33, which is around the Thames and Surround Spatial Plan. And really the message is that we internally are progressing the plan change aspect, but we are going to, because infrastructure, the provision of infrastructure and land use, as I've explained to many of you before, walk hand in hand. We are going to work quite closely with the infrastructure provision team, with the project team, initially, as they discuss infrastructure provision up the valley with landowners, we will be sitting alongside with them to understand what landowners' aspirations are, to understand the constraints, to provide some information. There's quite a lot of information that will need to be gathered to support any plan change, and that include and that some of that information is quite expensive to produce. So there's a bit of a conversation between landowners and the council about costs, the cost of infrastructure and the cost of the plan change. And so we will be working quite closely with the project team as we move forward on the Totra Valley, the future for Totra Valley.
Oh, thank you. Any questions, Leslie? So are you involved directly with the Totra Valley project?
Not with the provision of infrastructure, though I'm well aware of what's happening there. Yes.
So through the chair, this is still my attachment as part of my report. Leslie is here in support should you have any connected questions in regards to the planning change requirements further on. So the report itself is talking to the infrastructure project, and what the report is saying is that everything is full steam ahead in regards to investigations. The geotechnical work was completed mid-August. We haven't received the report back from the consultant at this point, but we've got some initial indications from them that they should have that through to us soon. I would suggest that the incoming community board will get a more fulsome update at that time, because we'll have those reports at that time and we can provide a clear update on what those are indicating, as well as the wider spatial plan and the stormwater work that's happening as well. Essentially, this investigation work is actually about understanding what our challenges are for enabling this infrastructure, what constraints we need to work with, and what problems need to be solved from a design perspective. So it's really important work that's happening now, really key to setting the larger infrastructure project up for success. Thank you.
Thank you. Just a quick question on that. There's one person who's particularly vocal about Totra Valley being developed. And I see on one of his Facebook things, he quotes a figure of $34 million. So is the 11.3 for the road, just for the road, or does that include the three, like the wastewater, water and stormwater?
So in December, council approved the 11.3-ish, I think it was, with a bit of change. That included the road and all supporting Three Waters infrastructure up through stages 2 and 3 of the project. So stage 2 up to the intersection of Sawmill Road, and then stage 3 Sawmill Road upwards.
That's a separate issue.
All part of the project.
Oh, it all
So stage 2 and 3.
So you'll put the pipes right through up into stage 2?
That's all included in the scope.
Wow,
of the stands. Yeah.
That I didn't know. I just thought it was the first part. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So then it just have to upgrade the road. I see Diggers Net up there about 4 or 5 weeks ago. Are they upgrading the road? It's a much smaller road that goes.
So that there was work underway a couple of weeks ago, which was the geotechnical investigation work. No construction is due until 26.
Right.
So this is all, we're in that early investigation and design phase to understand what we actually need to build to what was agreed from a road width perspective. The focus is stage 2. which is up to that Sawmill Road, and that's the first deliverable. Once that's delivered, we'll be doing some design as well for stage 3, but that's a year, 12 months plus out beyond that.
So that really landed my heart, because I just thought that first pipe work just went to Sawmill Road, so it does go right through, because the setup fees and getting set up is one of the bigger costs. So if you can do that in one hit, that'd be great.
Yeah, so the budget and the scope includes that stage 3 works all the way up.
Wow.
There are a lot of,
Excellent.
it's a really complex element, and Leslie is part of that.
Yep.
Stage 3 is where all of the complexity really comes in. Stage 2, you've got residential zoned. Further up, there's needs to be some changes, and all of that's connected. Is it affordable for developers to be developing up in stage 3? All of those answers need to be worked through, and we will be engaging closely with those existing landowners and developers around stage 3 throughout this as we progress through the project.
No, that's quite exciting. So they'll be following the COPU plan, or for the situation up there, no doubt, for the number of residential sections, area between 300 and 400 residential sections up there, which will give Thames an amazing boost going forward. I'm really pleased about that, because I thought somebody might try and railroad it or stop it, but it's well underway. It's good. Thank you.
Luke, as this project proceeds, is there any requirement to be liaising with Chorus, Powerco, the various, are they involved with this at all?
Absolutely, we will work with our I guess peers in regards to assets that are complementary up the road. That's part of our deliverable, is to make sure that we're working with those that have assets along and up that way already, so that we're not creating any issues, we're not conflicting with their assets. So very similar to other works that are happening at the moment, where we've been actively engaged with Powerco, who have assets along the same road corridor. So it's part of the process.
Thank you. Is there any further questions? Okay, I propose to put the motion that Thames Community Board receives the Thames Community Board CAPEX Work Program 2025-26 report dated 7th of August 25, moved by Councillor Revel. Do we have a seconder, please? Seconded by Board Member Rakwa. All in favour, please say aye. Those against, declared carried. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Action schedule at 3.2. Oh, sorry, Leslie going to talk more. Actually, this is very confusing. Go. All right, so you're talking now, Leslie.
I'm not talking to all the items on this paper. I was just here for the Thames and Surround Spatial Plan.
All right. All right. So that's item 3.2. Do you want to let?
Yeah. So this is item 3.2, and you'll notice it's a slightly different format to the last meeting. We have the action schedule, but then behind it we also have a monitoring schedule. So that's items where we want to keep you up to date with where we're at. So we'll just go through the action schedule first. We've already agreed today that we're going to organise a site visit in regard to the water treatment plant. So we'll do that with the new board. And we've also discussed today the footpath rehabilitation, and I referred to Len Whitaker's briefing earlier this month. In regard to the Thames Sub-Regional Aquatic Facility project, there is a report on the council agenda on the 16th of September, and that will provide a full update on where we're at with that project. Now moving on to the monitoring summary. The Thames Sports Partnership Project, we received the feasibility study for this in July, and the next stage will be reporting that to the new community board.
the Thames and Surrounds Spatial Plan. So this is why Leslie has attended today, and she has provided a brief overview of how this relates to the Tootra Valley infrastructure project. Did you want to add anything else, Leslie?
No, not a lot further, thank you, through the chair. In relation to Key Move A, we are still, as you know, we are in the throes of resource management reform, and we're expecting to see some central government policy in relation to climate change risks. That's still to come. We have not seen it yet. And we have not heard yet from Regional Council about their response to a letter that was written to them earlier this year about how they are planning for the ongoing renewal and of their assets in relation to coastal protection, particularly the stop bank at Thames. That's a critical part of the work. And as you know, our LTP clearly says we can't afford to do all of this on our own. We're still waiting. We're still in a kind of holding pattern on Key Move A. But with Key Move B, we are working quite closely with the project team to start those early conversations around the future for Tootra Valley and aspirations people have for that valley, and how interested they are in development and what sort of development landowners are thinking of, and just in terms of how we move, how the council moves to help them to achieve what they would like to achieve, and what how our aspirations meet. So that's the early discussion, and it's about the costs and benefits and who pays, as always. And those things are hard, nutty things to crack here. As Lucas said, it's a complex area to be working in. It's not nice, simple land, flat land. It's got interesting characteristics. Yeah. So we will need to work closely with our project team, but also other infrastructure providers, Ministry of Education, to understand growth needs in the future. There's a whole WRC, there's a whole bunch of players here. We're not in this alone. But we'll keep you updated as we move forward.
Thank you, Leslie. Is the planning, land use planning and things like that, is that a budgeted item? Is there a budget for that, or?
There is a small budget that's about 200K per annum in the LTP.
Yes.
As I've said, some of these early investigations are quite expensive to do. 200K won't get us a plan change, but we will use our money wisely, and if needed, we will have to come back, or else, part of the conversation with landowners is how much are you willing to put in the pot? Because there may be some landowners that have the ability to pay for some of the investigation that's required on their land. But that's a conversation for the future.
So what sort of investigations, like?
Geological investigation, cultural heritage investigation, liquefaction investigation, all sorts of things.
So
yeah.
Did not the COPU plan do those?
Through the chair, no, it didn't. It signaled, it drew a line, and don't forget the COPU plan is now some 15, 20 years old. It outlined that development was possible there. Since that plan was developed, plan changes have become much more complex to progress. It's not just simply rezoning the land. The precursors of rezoning require a whole lot of additional investigation to be done to ensure that the land is suitable for the land use that is proposed for it.
Mm. That's a shame. A lot of work went into that plan.
Yes, it did. Yeah, but this is, and I think the COPU structure plan does flag quite clearly that further investigation will be needed.
Mm. That's interesting. Okay, any questions? That one goes, so you finished with your payment?
Yes, the last item on the monitoring summary is the shoreline management plan. It just refers to that letter that has been sent to WRC.
Somebody care to move the Thames Community Board received the action schedule monitoring summary report that is that's tricky. Dated 6th of August 2025. Councillor Sinclair, Councillor Rebel, all those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Declared carried because there's no no's. No. Anybody? Yeah. So report to exclude the public. So item 3.3.
Please move that we exclude the public from this next section.
Oh yeah, 3.3 is just the chair's report.
Oh, my sincere apology. Chair.
No, I don't normally, I just sort of gloss over this, but I would just like to say personally to each and every member of the board, those are here and those are not, that the past 3 years I think have been, we've moved forward. It took just a little while to get momentum, and I can understand that when you've got 3 people around the table who have no previous experience in local government. But when we did get momentum, my goodness me, did we move things along. And I look back, and some of the things I look back at, for example, I came on here with vibe, good vibe, bad vibe, goodbye vibe. And it went, finally did go, and I was very impressed about how quickly council staff removed it. We voted on it one day, and by the following Friday, they initiated removing the vibe, which allowed traffic to flow freely once again in town. Whilst the concept of the vibe was great, it was just, I feel, in the wrong place. And I've searched my mind many times to try and think where you could put something like that. I look at the Thames Library and think that maybe there's a feature for that type of outdoor seating, outdoor gathering places there. But somewhere we do need to look at that, because Thames is very short of those. But I just want to thank those people who sat around the board who guided me through this the past 3 years. It hasn't been easy at all. And some of the discussions we have behind the scenes get a bit heated in regarding some things that should be on agendas and shouldn't be on agendas. But at the end of the day, I sincerely want to thank the staff, both Rosalind Ward and Rebecca Lacey, and my governance advisor, who I could never survive without. Thank you, Jenna, for the work you've done throughout the years. 3 years, it's been amazing. And thank you most sincerely to the board members, particularly those who have been around a bit longer, like the councillors Rodley, Sinclair and Rebel. And welcome to board member Rakwa, who I think came in the deep end, and you managed to survive the 3 years and going on to greater things. So all the best with your future thing, and all the best, of course, to Councillor Rebel and his mayoral aspirations, and all the very best to the 2 councillors. I do hope that you all, some or all or some, get back in. Now, I hope we'll get back in, because we do need that continuation of knowledge and understanding of what's happening. And so this 3 years have been a bedding year, and hopefully the new board will be able to continue on the work that this board started. And the last and final thing was that I was always I had some pride deep down inside when people mentioned that this was the best board out of 5. The staff would say to me, Thames Community Board is the best board out of the 5 community boards. We mightn't be the quickest, but we got there, and it's been an amazing journey. Thank you one and all. Thank you so much. So on that, I'll move that my report be received Do I have a seconder, please? Seconded by Councillor Rodley. All those in favour, please say aye. Those against, declared carried.
Is there any discussion that we're able to have? Any discussion we're able to have?
You can have a discussion about the report.
Cool. Adrian, I want to thank you for your leadership of the community board.
Oh, I didn't know that was the.
It's it has been good to be part of a group of people that are consistently community minded and just want to get stuff done. And I think the way you have approached it has meant that that desire that we have to feel that we're contributors has actually been quite easy, because it's clearly some stuff has been done. I want to acknowledge the model that you give in terms of your energy and your commitment. It's a great model for anybody to have, to know that life doesn't end at 50 or 40 or wherever they say life ends, but that there's always the opportunity to be contributing and to be contributing meaningfully. And I thank you for that. I know in the middle of the triennium, you ended up banging, falling over or whatever it is, and that took a personal toll on you. But you worked right through that, and you were determined to get through that. And here you stand today, standing again for the community board. And I think I would imagine my colleagues around the table do wish you well as you put yourself forward to continue service to community. So thank you.
Thank you, Peter. I appreciate that. Yes, that I left that fall out. That was against all medical advice to come back here to chair the meeting. But anyway, if you remember those days, in the afternoon, the deputy chair would take over. Oh my! And right in the middle of that was removal of vibe, and I was just thinking the other day how I had to really focus so hard to get through that part. It was, yeah, it was a chance to lose that battle when we got through. Yep. And fair to say that those who looked after me and those who treated me were pleasantly surprised at why I was managed to do it in 12 months and not normally a 2.5 to 3 year battle with head injuries. And just on that point there, I actually moved my brain 4 millimeters off centre. So that's a fairly major disruption to your system. And yeah, I'm lucky. Praise the Lord.
Did it go left or did it go right?
It went right.
Oh, well.
Right. And if you understand which side of the hemisphere in your brain operates which things, that was the wrong side. Yes. Board Member Rakwa.
Thank you, Chair. I don't want to stretch like Peter did. I just want to make it short and sweet. Thanks for your leadership. That's all.
And thank you, Guest and Notes, for your copies in the earlier days. They were really good. But then we thought we better spread ourselves around town. So, but thank you very much. Your generosity was well received in the earlier days for that.
And I'd be happy to move item 3.4 that we move into public excluded.
Do we have a second? Oh, no.
Have you?
No. Councillor Sinclair would beat you on that one. She jumped 2 pages further ahead. And you can second it.
And it wasn't because I didn't want to hear what you had to say. I was following the agenda and it goes straight. Yeah. So my apologies.
You're right.
Yeah.
Can I second it then?
You can second it. The Thames Community Board excludes the public from the following parts of the proceedings, namely public excluded minutes for confirmation, rent review. Oh, take that one out. 4.2 is gone. So it's just the public excluded minutes for confirmation. All right. All those in favour, please say aye. Those against, declared carried. Public confirmation of minutes.